Greetings, civilians. My name is Alzael, patriarchal member 149775518, Token Division. In this whole Gamergate thing, there's been a great deal of criticism from the other side about how gamers are a group of He-Man, woman-hating white men who shun inclusivity. Inclusivity meaning an intention or policy of including people who might otherwise be excluded or marginalized. Now, one might ask the question of how a group of people whose only common characteristic is that they all purchase and use a freely available product that can be found in local mall or electronic stores can possibly be exclusionary. Well, the other side thought of that and have given us a well-reasoned and insightful answer.
Shut the fuck up for a second!
Gloriously brilliant. So, seeing as how we're all a bunch of white males, well, except for me, of course, and her, and her, and her, and him too. Well, my point is, we're almost totally, absolutely some of us white men. And if anyone is qualified to pass this judgment, it is the other side, because they have a diverse and wide range of gender and ethnic backgrounds. Just look at the management of Gawker Media. Okay, never mind that. Let's look at Polygon, who have 5 women and 1 minority out of 22 people on staff. Okay, but there's Kotaku. Now there's a group that's about as white and male as a snowball sausage party. Still, one only has to take a look at the XOXO Fest to see how wonderfully diverse and inclusionary that group is. Where else have you ever seen such a group embrace racial diversity so wholeheartedly? Still, I'm sure that the audiences of those sites cover a wide spectrum of genders. Oh, fucking hell. Okay, fine. But I bet they're still doing better than that hotbed of woman-hating and gynocentric violence that we call 4chan. Yeah, enough of this. I think I've made my point here. It's an odd thing that the ones who are preaching the loudest about inclusivity and condemning games for being a white boys club are made up of fewer non-white men and women than the misogynist hate group they decry. There's a word for that, I think. I remember hearing it a long time ago, but I can't quite put my finger on it. What was that word again? Oh yeah, that one. When Stylist magazine put out its list of 50 feminist icons, there were so many middle to upper class white women it looked like a snowstorm in the Hamptons. Hilariously though, they also placed Margaret Thatcher on that list of feminist icons. And if you're wondering what the rumbling sound you're hearing is, that's old Maggie turning over in her grave. Oh, and note how any list of feminist icons never includes men who were feminists, or men who did things for women, because, inclusivity and gender equality and all that shit. My point is this, Gamergate. Don't take this kind of shit from these people. They have the nerve to say that we're not inclusive and sexist while ignoring all of the women and minorities in the group and lumping us all in as white men. Then, when we stand up and say, oh no, all us non-male, non-whites are over here, what response do we fucking get? Seriously, fuck these people and their social justice garbage. Feminists and social justice warriors are the real racists and sexists here, because all they ever see is sex and skin color, and only to the extent that it helps their narrative. When it doesn't, women and non-whites don't even exist to them. They're women who have internalized their misogyny, or blacks who are sock puppets of their white overlords being driven by the masses' whip. They run around claiming that women's voices aren't being heard, but when those voices say that they've only ever felt welcomed and accepted in the gaming community, those women suddenly have no business speaking. You go to their forums and spaces and ask questions or challenge the narratives, and you receive a very brief meeting with the banhammer. These people are so fucking inclusive that they can't even countenance the very idea that there are others who will agree with them. So inclusive, in fact, that they patently ignore all of the female developers or workers in the game industry that have actually succeeded and done quality work. Instead, they prop up useless wastes like Zoe Quinn and Brianna Wu, whose only contributions to the gaming industry amount to 2 shitty barely games between them and a pair of massive victim entitlement complexes. The women who have actually struggled and achieved and are respected by the gaming community have no place at their table, because they aren't victims, and in their world, that's all a woman is good for. I realize that this may just be my brain working in strange ways, but maybe women aren't being excluded or discriminated against. Maybe women like Brianna just suck too much to make it. Or in Zoe's case, maybe she should have sucked more. Or maybe women just aren't interested in the same games as gamers. You can see it in the stats. Women prefer games like Farmville and Candy Crush, and there's nothing wrong with that, despite what they say. But those are not gamer games. Any game that gamers are going to play is not something that women in general seem to want to play. That is not a lack of inclusivity, nor is changing an entire industry just to try and cater to them being inclusive. It's being fucking ridiculous. It's saying that everyone should like the same things, have the same tastes, the same desires, and enjoyments. It's saying that everyone should be like you. There is nothing inclusive about that. You know the drill, guys. Please like and subscribe, and I promise I'll have something more thoughtful and substantial to put out soon. I'm out.